Whoa, that was loud. Okay, that was a lot louder than what? I feel like I'm not close enough to you.
You're well and truly close enough to me.
Am I?
Give me some space.
Wow, you want space? That's unusual.
Be in my space.
Welcome to my space.
So we have to figure out whether we want to do an intro, whether
We're going to have to do an intro eventually.
Maybe.
Are we?
Yeah, possibly.
We just say, hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. I feel comfy on the mic. Do you?
I don't think the mic's really like an issue. Having 3 cameras facing at us is a little bit how you going, but
It's not too bad.
you're used to it though.
A little bit.
I'm not.
You're always in front of the camera. What are you talking about?
Not always. Not like in this capacity, but
No.
we all do hard things.
I'll leave it there.
Cut. Yeah, there's going to be plenty of that.
All right. Well, maybe we do an intro. Maybe,
What are we doing?
Maybe we do an intro. What are we doing? Welcome to week 1 of our special podcast
Yes.
named
What are we naming it again?
Our Wild...
One.
Our One? No.
No.
Our Wild Beautiful Life.
Our wild, beautiful life.
Do we need to go again?
Welcome to our wild, beautiful life.
True. Because
A
it
safe
is.
space.
Well, it's
tell our
someone's space.
story.
It's not our
Someone's
space.
space.
It's a nice space.
To tell our story. Share on what are we going to be sharing on, honey?
Well, we talked yesterday a little bit about... Actually, we've been talking about this for years.
Mm-hmm. It all goes back to 2020 when we started our Instagram lives.
Oh, yeah.
Monday night with the Harrises.
Yeah, right.
To connect people and help us all not feel as separate and alone
Disconnected and alone.
during all that 2020 was.
It was-
I don't know if we'll get into controversial topics on here, but you never know.
Maybe
Should
not
we-
on week 1.
Should we say hello?
Oh, we are saying hello.
Are we saying hello?
But who knows? Maybe people are just listening to this.
Maybe.
So we've said hello.
Welcome.
This is on YouTube as well as on podcast places
Where you
to be
listen
determined.
To your podcast, potentially. We need to figure that one out. But
We will figure that one
because this
out.
video or this week 1 will essentially be on YouTube first, we should probably say hello. Hi. Where am I looking?
That one.
Hi guys. Welcome to Our Wild Beautiful Life. It's a podcast we've been thinking about doing for a really long time.
And been requested to do quite a few times
Actually,
as well.
that's very true. And we thought, why not?
Why not?
Let's do it. And so here we are. We have all the gear.
We do have
We've
all
had
the
all
gear.
the gear for a really long time.
That's not all the gear. We just got some new gear
Majority of
last
the gear.
week.
We've got fancy mics, so hopefully, I don't just have something flashing on my
blue
beard.
boobies.
This is actually a mic, but we're ready. We have our snacks. Oh gosh, that'll be a beautiful ASMR for you when we crack those open. Got our drinks. So, if you are,
If you're new,
which you all will be, and you're tuning in, welcome to our space. We want you to grab your favourite bevy, maybe even your favourite snacks.
let's just say,
Pull up a chair.
pull up a chair and get comfy.
Yeah.
We have left the kids to go do this and gone and got all the naughty snacks that we don't usually go get. So kids, if you're watching this later on, we didn't have snacks.
No, and this is definitely not how we normally eat. So
No, we'll get into that probably at some point.
But
Shivers.
I just realised if I burp, it's going to be right into the microphone.
Don't burp in the mic. Don't
I
burp.
have one coming.
Wowzers. Forgive her, viewers.
Please no. that this podcast will very much be unedited, raw. The only thing that might be edited out is if there's too long of a pause. That's maybe the only thing that will be unedited.
There's going to be little edits, but yes,
You're perfectionist here.
Yeah, but it's not going to be. We're not sending this away to a podcaster, editor, company to get rid of all the ums and ahs and the.
Oh no, I will and ah a lot.
So, but you're looking at the editor as well for the moment. So
because
until I can train a kid to do it.
You're the everything.
No. So this started in
Should we introduce who we are?
Oh,
Wow. We've gone that far and we haven't even introduced who we are.
well, it's meant to be raw and unedited.
It is. So, guys, whoops, sorry.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Kristie.
I'm Beren.
We're the Harrises. Been married for 18 years. Is that right? 18 years.
And a half.
And a half. We've been together. That's another story that
18
obviously you'll get to hear because I have to actually remember how old our eldest is to then determine how long we've been together and married. So we've been together 20 years.
Been together 20.
Yeah. It'll be 21 years we've known each other in May. And 21 together in August. Wow.
Yeah, right.
Because 04.
04.
We have a tattoo. I don't know if you can zoom in on that over there, Beren, when you're editing. We have tattoos that we got on our 10-year wedding anniversary. That says established 2004. Gosh, we were babies.
Far out, such babies.
Babies trying to do life and raise babies.
It's
you
pretty
get to
psycho.
hear all about that.
Well, hopefully you'll get to
Stick
hear
around
it.
after
Hopefully
this
you'll stick around. Like, it's a work in progress, guys. We're going to sort of just see how things go. But I think it's going to work out pretty well.
I think it's going to be awesome. And this one's kind of like introducing ourselves and what does this podcast look like? So you get to decide whether you want to stick around.
Which I think is really cool. But we had this, so 2020, world went crazy. We were living in a little beach shack, like 150 meters away from the beach.
2020.
Oh, wait. No. We started this in Fern Bay.
We started this in Fern Bay.
Right. So, that's right, because we used to sit on the lounge out the back. Right. So we weren't there. But...
And our children used to come in, like they would have been supposed to be in a bed, but they kept coming out to be a part of their lives.
And there were some OGs that sort of turned up every week. They were faithful and turned up and listened. And
Jen and Simon, if you are here watching this, OGs. Emily and Eli. OGs.
And Emily was the one that I was thinking of. And it was, I think we joked back then that we should turn it into a podcast or we should do something. And it was like, yes, you should. And I think every time we've shared parts or sections of our story and we've done all sorts.
There's a lot.
And it's been like this idea that's just like, holy shippers, that's wild. Like thinking about us being babies, raising babies, that's wild, right?
Yeah, I still think that I'm like 19, often. And we have a 19-year-old child.
That's wild. That's wild.
I'm not 19, guys, with a 19-year-old child.
That would be
I am 40. You're turning 40 this year.
That's
I'll
wild.
be 41.
Wild.
Wow. That's cool.
It is cool. And then what happened? So during that time, we moved houses.
How do we get to this point of doing a podcast? That's what
and we'll get into houses. We'll get into all sorts of, I mean, there's just so much to go through in our story. But I think what happened was that we were doing Monday night with the Harrises.
Yeah.
We dedicate somewhere like an hour to just be live and just talk and chat and answering questions and discussing topics.
We had people on and joined us for our lives.
Who did we have on?
Abigail came on. Mum and Dad came on.
Yeah, right.
Fiona came on.
Which Fiona?
That was...
Don't have to say last names.
She did a lot of the filmography stuff. It was right around... there was a lot of stuff going on in America about racial things. And so... we were... And Aboriginals and things like that.
Yeah, sure.
Here. So we were having those kind of conversations. We had some pretty heavy conversations, but again, like I said, you never know. Stick around. Some controversial things might come out.
Who knows?
A few conspiracy theories, they're all just anything can happen, and it probably will. Any conversation will probably happen, and no topic is off. What is it?
No topic should be
is off topic.
Off topic, or no topic should be a not talked about topic.
No, because we have also, as we'll go on further, we have grown up in a church environment, and a lot of things that happened within those church environments affected a lot in our marriage and in our life, and we get to go to the nitty-gritty, and like I said, it's going to be raw. There's going to be a lot of honesty, a lot of conversations that need to be had and should be had, and our prayer and our hope is that by God asking us to do this, it's actually to be able to maybe even have someone say, hey, I'm not alone, when we share our story, or that there's hope for someone else going through something that is a really hard journey. We've been through a lot of hard journeys. If I was to give like a brief overview of topics that will be spoken about here, so that you can kind of go, oh, do I really want to stick around? Which we pray you do, because we know that we have a lot to share and offer. But we will be speaking on the topic of marriage, obviously because we're married, but the not so lovey part of marriage.
The very lovey part of marriage.
The very lovey part of marriage. As we said, no topic is out of bounds. Also, see, look, all the it's just I've got to learn, or I don't learn. It's who I am.
We said we're going to speak on parenting, specifically for us
raising boys,
because
we have 4 boys, range from, we have 11, 13, 15 and 19. So we know a thing or two about raising children, raising boys in particular.
I would also say we are definitely not experts. There is so much that we do not know.
Oh gosh, there's still so much to learn. But we will be touching on mental health, specifically mental health for men, with Beren's journey. We have definitely had our fair share of miracles that have occurred, both health related and mental health related. We will talk about miscarriage, pregnancy, those kinds of things, because that is our life. Business.
We're definitely going to talk on business.
We're talking on business. We're talking about faith, because obviously the foundation of what we do and who we are is our faith. We are believers in God, in Jesus. That will be a big part of this. So we do wish you stick around.
But also just
we're not going to Bible bash you, but God is a very big part of our life, because we are sitting here today across from each other because of God working in our life. I truly believe that if we didn't have God in our world, that this wouldn't be, you wouldn't actually physically be on the earth.
Well, that's true, but that's getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near that story yet.
No.
So.
And we wouldn't have our babies.
Well, at least 3 of them.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
So yeah, that's...
What else do we need to discuss in this intro?
I'm not sure.
I think one of the things that we'll sort of get into over time is, I guess, the other parts of life, right? There's well outside of marriage and raising kids and all sorts of stuff. There's the journey of moving through the different stages of life. We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
About moving from essentially single teenagers through to pre-family, through to beautiful chaos, which we've got one still in that beautiful chaos stage, that pre-teen age. We've got Zaya at 11, and then we've got the weight of teens that that we've been coached through and mentored through, specifically by your dad and others around. We have 3 teenagers in the house as of a couple of weeks ago, so that's
Yes.
pretty psycho. Wild is the word we're using. Wild and beautiful.
We're about to have 3 fully fledged adults in our home by the end of this year, because in my mind, if you still have a teen at the end of your number, you're still a teenager. You're not a fully fledged adult yet. And so our eldest is 19, therefore, in my head, he's still a teenager. He hasn't fully fledged into adulthood, because it is, and his adult training wheels are on.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
So we got that, and then like we're looking down the barrel of empty nester. Like that's kind of like.
Well, we also could potentially be grandparents in the next 5 to 10 years. Let's be honest.
Who knows?
Whew.
Just.
I'm done having babies, even though my children ask me every single day for another baby.
We're not having any more babies.
Not having any more babies, but grandbabies, bring it on.
Yes.
We want the grandbabies.
And while we're still very far away from it, I guess that is the next stage we need to prepare for, is that kind of as we start moving from having 4 kids in the house to having 3 to 2.
We're not going there. Let's not do that today.
No.
I've got my makeup on. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.
And that's cool. But yeah, so there's some stuff that we're just nowhere near, I guess, capable of being able to speak into. But our hope is that this conversation is going to expand from you and I on the couch to like
Hoping
others.
We'll have some guests
Some others
on the podcast
some hot topics
who are experts in their field, let's just say, or who have done the journey for a long time.
I think that's a better way of saying it, isn't it? It's just like there's this thing thrown around about expert, right? But what makes you an expert, if that makes sense, right? Like there are some people that you wouldn't consider to be experts, although the way that they've lived, they have just learnt. I just thought of this guy, I can't remember what his name is, and he's just this farmer. And I say that, I don't mean to bring down any farmers, right, in any way, shape or form, but like that's what he's spent his life doing.
Hey, farmers literally keep us fed.
Sure, right? But he's
Very important.
I think he's 3rd or 4th generation farmer, and someone was asking him some life topic type questions, and the answers that he just gave were better than almost anything you're going to hear from any Harvard professor or anything like that. And like it's just
Very
stuff that he's
profound.
learned on the farm, right? It's just like you just learn this stuff. And so I think we need to be pretty careful with expert.
Maybe we choose to remove that word.
Yeah, well, as best we can, but
as best we can from our vocabulary.
So we'll try and bring people in that we know have done life in different ways that we haven't, to bring a different perspective.
Yeah. Well, it's the fruit. Like the fruit in their life is the evidence of the journey that they've walked.
Yeah.
So that's what I look to. If I'm having someone speak into my life on something, like I know that I talk about it a lot of the time, is that when you're going through something and someone comes to you and says, hey, I'm really sorry you're going through that. I totally understand. I understand.
No, you don't.
I understand.
No, you don't.
Now, that when that conversation is had specifically from someone who has actually been through what you're going through, that carries so much more weight.
Yeah, 100%.
Than if somebody comes to you and says, oh, I'm really sorry you're going through that. I understand. Or something in those terms, but they've never actually experienced that. You don't tend to receive that the same as what you would from someone who's been on it with you. And I actually read literally just today with on a friend's post, and she was talking about how in every stage of parenting so far with her little boy who's just about to turn 2, she was saying that in every stage she's needed different people because it's people that are on that same journey as her, right? And so it helps to have someone there going, yeah, me too. I was up all night last night with, with the baby or whatever, those kind of things. Like when we have gone through, and obviously we'll speak about it, but there was one particular time I vividly remember when you were in hospital, and I remember calling my dad, and I can see it like it was just happened, and I'm walking down this corridor towards this big window, and I remember on the phone to him and I said, Dad, how did you handle this? Because what happened to you in a sort of around the same situation happened to my mum.
Yeah.
And so my dad, I had that connection there with my dad, and I was like, how do I get through this? How do I support him? And so like having someone there who understood was so much more of an impact for me. And it's the same when, you have someone who has lost someone.
Yeah, of course.
Like he's going through grief. It's good for someone to just to check in, but like when somebody can sit with you in that grief who's been in it, that's what you are doing. It's that whole thing about being on a journey. And when you're on a journey, no matter what stage of life you're in, you've always got someone who's coming up behind you and someone who's already gone before you. And so you are looking to that person that's in front of you who's been in that and already come out the other side for hope, whereas you get to be that for the next person coming through once you're in like you don't even have to be in a fully healed space to do that. No. But you know what I mean? Like
I get it. And I think that's, I think like for us to sort of wrap up here, I think that's a perfect example. I guess summary of what we're trying to do here is to be able to create a space for others to come along and be able to feel that you're not alone, that someone else has that same thing, whatever that thing is, but they've got that same thing going on in their life, or someone else has walked this journey before, and hopefully we come from a position that is relatable, but also, I guess, real. Yeah. And I think one of the things that sort of stands out is it's very hard to relate to. I remember you and I joked about this ages ago, and it was I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but I will, Kim Kardashian, right? Because I think it was her, but it was that, it's just like, you can parent multiple kids and this and that and all sorts of stuff. It's like, yeah, if you got $1 gazillion and 20 nannies and all sorts of stuff, you know what I mean, right? Yeah. And we saw this the other day when it was again from a much more smaller point of view, but someone was just like that look that you give the 24-year-old gym trainer that says everyone's got 24 hours, the same 24 hours. Everyone's got the same 24 hours in the day when you've got 3 kids at home and 2 jobs and all sorts of stuff. And it's the
side note. That's what I love about my coach. I'm currently starting at the gym. That's its whole own story. But my coach, she's in her 20s and I'm in my 40s. But my gosh, she's like, her and I are almost the same person. She's so freaking funny for one. And she's very relatable for me because I'm like, she doesn't do things or doesn't coach me in a way that is just like as if you would coach someone like she coached herself. Like she gives the guidelines, but then obviously we work towards what I've got going on for me. And I love that. So it's not one of those. So I'm obviously, I tend to look for advice or guidance from someone who is kind of in my sphere of life. Does that mean my stage of life? Yeah. But also my coach is the bomb and I love her so much. Yeah, so I'm like, she can be my coach.
All right. Well,
Should we sign off there?
Yeah, we will sign off there.
We'll go the next one. But one thing I want to say is that we really appreciate that you are here. We want to have this as a safe place for you to sit and listen or walk and listen if you're
however you do
this
your
might
thing,
be.
right?
But-
Mine's usually in the car. I'm a podcaster in the
Yeah.
car, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. You very much
like,
are. I
it's about the
do
only-
it while I'm like moving around the kitchen and cooking and things like that. That's when I usually like set up the computer and I watch my YouTube podcast people and
or
all that kind of
listen,
stuff.
or
listen or whatever.
mine's
But however you came to be in this space, we
Welcome.
really appreciate that
Welcome.
you are here. Welcome. We hope you'll stick around. We want to hear from you, what you feel connected to, but also what you'd love to hear from us.
That'd be cool.
We are an open book. So, like we said, no topic is out of bounds. We never want to come from a position that we know everything. We 100% do not. There might be topics that come up and we go, we don't know how to share on this, or we don't know, we're not well versed in this. So that's when we will go and find someone who is, to be able to bring that into the space. But also, there's no judgment here. Was it? We listen and we don't judge.
Listen and don't judge. Kids, we listen and we don't judge. We didn't have snacks, but
We
yes, we do
should
have snacks. You listen and
absolutely-
you don't judge.
We should absolutely do one of those one time.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah.
But would our kids be upset if we don't say, please like and subscribe?
I'll be like, you didn't say like and subscribe. Our kids are like avid YouTuber watchers. They love it. Whether they'll watch this,
Don't know.
who knows? We also want to keep them like within. We don't want to have them too long, but we all know I can't do things in a short capacity.
You can't sometimes.
No, so
Like-
I'm long form. Give me all the details. I'll give you all the details.
So I'm going
cannot
to try
do
and
things-
keep you to a fairly
Yeah.
standard sort of time. So we're going to wrap up here.
Yeah.
And if you guys got anything out of this, please stay tuned. The next one should be out
Like and subscribe.
very, very soon.
Leave us a comment. Tell us where you're watching from.
Or listening.
How you found us. We are all about connection and community. And so we want to get to know you just as much as you guys are going to get to know us. So, and
Thanks.
cut.